funny questions. Or not funny, but funny things that happened on set. Man, we are all just done. Fried. Please only ask us like.
I can tell you funny. Last year, something that was funny was Andy Rothenberg played Jim. You guys remember Jim?
Yeah.
He's a great actor, and it was right after she shot her sister in the head, and we were all really sad and emotional about it, and we were burying the bodies and and I was trying to be sad and emotional because that's my job, and the cameras were on me, and I looked over the cameras, and Andy Rothenberg was being sad and emotional over there, and he looked at me and he just mouthed, "I love you."
Then there's one time last season they wouldn't call cut. I don't even know why, but we were all like trying to do like dramatic poses. Remember last year when we decided to leave the camp? There was one time they wouldn't call cut, and so we were all like in the zone, dramatic faces until Norman like it's done, Logan is done, and that's when we lost. That was so funny.
Can I get another ominous question from wherever? Oh, okay.
This is very ominous. How do you psych yourself up for portraying a scene and emotion of loss? What do you think about in your mind, and are you able to produce tears without synthetic support?
Synthetic support. That could be anything. Synthetic support. You know what? This is a true testament to how amazing our cast is. And it's not necessarily that people do on our cast have the ability to cry on cue like that. And I don't think anybody uses synthetic support. But what's really cool is we as a cast get together and all really get in the zone. And if it's going to be a serious scene, everybody has their own methods, but there's a general vibe. Even for me, I can't cry on cue, but I can get into that emotional place and then let that lead me there. But then it also helps if other people are in the same place with me. And I think we all gel together in that way. There are some amazing actors. All of the cast, all amazing. But specifically, like Melissa McBride, if you ever want to feel sad, let her just do some acting in front of you. And not in that way. So tired. No, Melissa is phenomenal. And there's a couple scenes that we had where, I couldn't get there, and I was like, oh, I'm so frustrated, like, I can't get to that place. And then I just looked at Melissa in the middle of the scene, and it just broke me down. And, that happens all the time, and I think that's what's really cool. And then people do weird stuff, like, Andy does this, he does like this. And then she, reverses her lines to, fir trees and, a birch, and, just talks to her, oh, hey, he called action, where's Holden? I'm like, oh, she's talking to a tree.
Do they ever transition zombie extras to surprising and a more real reaction?
Do you need to be coach them to do something weird and figure
Well,
this out?
have you guys watching a scene and not know that somebody's gonna come around and jump out at you or something? Or
No, it's all scripted, so a lot of hard work and preparation goes into.
But they do this. they don't. If it's like a really, if it's like a hero zombie, like as in like a very important hero zombie, sometimes they won't show you what they look like
Until the cameras come
until the cameras come out. That's happened to me, and it's pretty awesome. So it's pretty awesome.
They certainly should do that though, because we get like more of a real reaction. I would certainly freak out if something jumped out at me. They know what's coming. I was the one staring people on set, so don't ask me.
Next question.
Were any of you fans of the zombie genre before you started the show? And if so, what did you like?
I love 28 Days. That was my favorite zombie show, and I mean, our zombies are different because they don't move as fast as those zombies, but I think that we're similar in the fact that we're so apocalyptic and it's not campy, and I don't know, it's really gritty, and I feel like just like 28 Days, it's really about people trying to survive, and you know, it's really kind of about the human condition. So yeah.
And exactly, like after a while, what happens on the show, after a while, people start figuring out there's no cure for this. This is life. Better spend it well, is basically what they're saying. Yeah.
It's a survival drama.
Yes.
I mean, for me, like, I'm not necessarily a huge genre of the zombie genre fan. I think for me, what's awesome is the charm of the show is that it's not necessarily about zombies, and that it's about, you know, the survivors, and the zombies are the backdrop and the constant affliction, but you're also scared of, you know, who can stab you in the back or, you know, take you out when you're sleeping.
You know, it's not really about, for me, it's not really about the genre, not the genre, but I actually hate zombies. The show has made me hate them. And I loathe them. And people, especially at publicity events, like to dress up like them. And I want to kill them. I try to be really clear to all of the people playing the zombies that I do not like them. I love the actors, I love people, but I hate zombies. Call me kooky method actor, but I hate them. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I love you, sweetheart. But if you dress up like a zombie, it's a different deal. But I get it. I agree. I think that what's so cool about this is I think eventually, just like from the graphic novel, I think that zombies are only so dangerous. I think the real danger is going to lie in the human beings, and zombies are something that we'll end up being able to deal with more or less. But there's a evilness inside of people that I think is far more dark.
Next question.
You actually kind of led into my question. I was wondering if any of you had actually read the graphic novels, and if you had, did you use that as background to build your characters?
Well, I'm not allowed to read them. Well, we did skip where my mom would go ahead and just make me skip pages, but I really didn't know where we were in the whole novel graphic thing. I really just didn't know what was going on because I had to skip so many pages.
You should probably agree that like half of what their pages in the book. Yeah, because on every other page, I do read it, not the graphic novel.
Parents let you read it.
Well, like that was, I guess so. Atlanta Rush Hour traffic. They're like getting to set. It's crazy, and just getting to ADR at like the worst possible times. On Wednesday I had 5:30, and so I'll probably be sitting there with my iPad with the earplugs in, just not listening to all the cursing going on.
Yeah, I read it. I read it before we even started. then I stopped as soon as I got cast because I didn't really want to inform too much. But I think what's really cool is that we're all fans of the graphic novel, and we've read it, and we know what the small essence of these characters are. But everyone brings their own unique kind of vibe to each character, and it's not straight off the page. And I think that's what's so cool is they just casted this perfectly. You know what I mean? Not from like a hey, make sure you do it this way perspective, but like that guy is Shane, or that guy is Dale, or whatever. You know, it's perfectly casted, so it's pretty awesome in that way.
Thank you. Hi there. What was the inspiration for basing the novel in Georgia? Do you know?
I think they were like looking for a quarry, and there was like the quarry in Atlanta better than any other one.
Did you mean a non-graphic novel? That's something you probably got to ask Robert Kirkman that question.
I was from Kentucky, and I think it was to try to get to sort of the biggest, to try to head towards Atlanta, because that would be kind of the biggest city center in the area. That's where everybody would flock to.
And plus the city in background, none of that was green screen. The city was actually, it was so cool at night. What?
No, he's talking about the graphic novel. You see why it's a graphic novel. No, I'm so seeing, man.
That was, no, come on, ass.
The reason I asked is I'm a native to Georgia, and it was nice to see my home state on television.
I think that's what it is too. I mean, I think Robert wanted to give Atlanta some love, and it's an amazing city, and it's perfect to have it. It's a bustling metropolitan area, so perfect.
But also, as far as the TV show, I can't speak as far as the graphic novel, but as far as the TV show being set in Georgia, I think Georgia is, I think it's one, especially whereas last season was Atlanta, I think this season is more rural Georgia, if I'm allowed to say that, and not get sued, fired, or both. But I think Georgia is a huge, it's one of the central characters to the piece, and I'm so happy that we are shooting here, because there's, first of all, I think the crews, the film crew that we have is the best crew I've ever worked with in my entire life. I think that the people of Georgia are the best filmmakers just out there. And the atmosphere, as far as just there's types of trees, there's types of fields, there's types of heat, there's types of bugs that are here, and it's all a huge part of it. And I mean, it's the bugs, man.
Remember the giant grass? I was like tricked out. Do you know what velvet ants? You know what a velvet ant is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I think it was a grasshopper. It was like this big. It was black and had
Orange stripes.
orange stripes all over. It was like huge.
I like that.
We caught it and brought it home to my brother just so we could use it for a science project. He decided to let go.
Well, where the study's located, they can't put pesticides down, so they're seeing all the bugs are for real. They can't put pesticides down.
Yeah, the local place won't let us put any bug repellent on the ground. So, and they can come in an hour early to like scare off all the snakes.
No, it's bad. We all get ticks and bites and get tick checks, and it's ridiculous. Scratching all the time, so if you see a scratch on the show, you'll know it's real. As I scratch now.
Yeah.
Next question.
First of all, thanks for coming out. I know y'all are really tired, making one kick-ass show for all of us to see. I was curious, it may be answered in comic books, but I haven't read it, but I was wondering why y'all call the zombies geeks.
is just something that I think the wonderful mind of Frank kind of came up with. And I think geeks is from circus geeks, like the kind of freaks of the circus. And it's just another way to refer to them, much as they're called walkers and not zombies. And I don't think we ever refer to them as zombies because it's a world that didn't know what they were prior. So to call them zombies would be a little bit too convenient, and to someone say that looks like a zombie when that word hasn't been created yet. So I think that's what that is. It's a Frankism.
Okay, let's say it's like the real world now, tomorrow, the zombie outbreak apocalypse happened. What's your plan?
Well, I generally go down into the basement. I don't know why. The basement is like sick. Even though people are scared of basements.
I drop all my BB guns and my, or in the ammo for them, and my Xbox.
I go to Walmart. Walmart has enough food to last you like a million years.
I would take my brothers and I and climb up a tree and eat a bunch of leaves. I can teach them that they're copycats. They do whatever I do, so they'll be pretty easy unless they fall out.
Whenever I'm asked this question, I think it's really important to lay out guidelines, like what's going on, how many people are still alive, like are they just like are really pretty girls not being eaten? Like, does the ratio get better for somebody? I think those are very key questions for me to answer this effectively. So I'm good with, I just won't answer right now.
Yes.
In the event of an actual zombie outbreak, what would be your favorite way to dispatch zombies? Not the safest, your favorite way.
Shoot them in the head.
I would get a huge knife and slice right down the head.
I like to play with fire, and it's really hot. So, I burn knives.
I know, we're like, the kids are more violent than the adults. There's an extreme in the head. She wants to, like, get a giant knife and she want to, like, cut their heads in half. I want to cut all the chainsaw, you want to burn them.
Or a tank, whatever.
That's fire's fuel.
This is a fun question.
Out of the mouth space, right?
Okay, you kind of answered this a little bit, but I'm going to ask it kind of in a different way, which is that I'm a mom of a 10-year-old boy and a 7-year-old who doesn't care about zombies. But the 10-year-old is always telling me to read the books that my husband won't even let me read, and wants to watch the show. And I was wondering, I know Chandler, you've read them, but how much of the show do you guys actually see? Are you everything and know everything that's going on, or do they kind of protect you a little bit?
I see the whole thing. And my parents will listen.
My parents have to watch the whole thing first just in case there's something I can't see. Like the opening of episode 2, yes. And the gory parts don't warn me, but I like to watch the gore. Something to be saying, but I do. But they watch it before me, so.
Episode 2, I would like to watch the first part, but all the gory parts, if I grow up, I would like just suck it up, press on. So, yeah.
We only have 15 more minutes, so don't let anybody else in the lines, okay? So everybody just hang tight. We'll finish up with these guys. Thank you. Next.
Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of comics, had it for years, so thank you so much for doing such an awesome job of interpreting these characters, and good job. My question is, are there any pranks on set, or anyone you'd like to prank on set, or any high cheats?
Back in season 1, there was Eliza and the other kid. The two twins, there's supposed to be the two twins that the family left in episode 5. They went to Alabama. They didn't go with the rest of the group to the CDC. The two kids, the boy, his name is Noah, and we're in the cooling tent doing episode 5. Yeah, and one of the zombies was laying on the ground. And it looked like a man cave, so we walked in and we sat down on our chairs. It was like in a cooling tent, so it wasn't nearly as hot in there. So Noah came in. Well, first she sat up and scared the crap out of us. And Noah walked in. And we were like, hey, Noah, go kick that man cave over there. So he went over there. He was, and his mom was like, no, let's bring some thousands of dollars. We're like, no, it's fine. Just go ahead. He walked in there, and he was just about to kick it, and then she like sat up and grabbed his leg. He jumped out of it. It was hilarious.
Did you do something to you again, John? Threw a bunch of John hates crickets real bad. And so Andy Rothenberg, the same guy that did the I Love You bit, threw like a bunch of crickets in his trailer.
And in my house, and in my car. What it was, I just kept talking, I hate crickets, man. Crickets and flying, it's just like, I hate them both. And then I was in Los Angeles before the show started. I was doing a play there, actually. And the stage manager came backstage and I was getting dressed and said, I have something for you. And it was an envelope full of crickets.
Was that? You thought it was Sarah. You were like, you were yelling at her. You were like, I knew it was you.
Next question.
So has there ever been a point on the set whenever you guys were surrounded by gallons of fake blood and fake brains and miles of fake entrails? Has there ever been a point where you guys were actually literally physically grossed out during the making?
Well, I'm kind of grossed out by blood. I don't like it. But the fake blood doesn't bother me. I don't know why. And there's never really been a point where I'm like grossed out by it though.
She passed out. She passed out.
Greg Nicotero, I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work, but he's the absolute best in the business. He's a genius and he's an artist. He makes all special effects. It's weird because I think that to me it's become a thing of beauty. Like it doesn't go like more discussing that is so beautiful. That's such beautiful work, and it is, and it's really beautiful. Like that, this team of artists, they do it beautifully. And there's some nasty stuff this year, like nasty.
Yeah, like last season, I got this big chocolate slice of cake, you know, and so I'm sitting down and literally right before I take a bite, this zombie walks in and like half of her jaws off, her tongue showing. Do you remember that? Oh, awesome. I know you eat my chocolate cake.
It's hilarious.
Hello. First off, if you could pass on thanks for not going for the cheap, jumpy scares, I would appreciate it. I love that. I wanted to know if you guys knew about Dragon Con before this year, and what are you guys fans of in the Dragon Con world?
I think, Chandler, you look well on this stuff.
Yeah, I go to a lot of times. Eddie, like, they drive to all these towns. Like, they drove to Chicago, where else? They live in North Carolina. So, where else did we go?
North Carolina.
We drove to Louisville, Kentucky, Philadelphia. We drove here. We flew to Orlando that time for the first time. And we pretty much drove to all of these. We like to see all the views, and on the way to Chicago, we passed this windmill farm. It was beautiful, but at night, we were passing it for the first time, and it was a bunch of red blinking lights. So we were like, what the heck is going on here? Is there a bombing attack, an alarm? One point we thought we were aliens, and then we passed this one huge windmill, and my grandma's like, oh my gosh, it's a windmill. It's so crazy. But we like to see the views. We go through the mountains. We just love it. Well, this is my first con ever. I was going to go to the Philadelphia one, but we got sick. Really, really sick.
So do you want me to answer the question? I don't think any of us knew about Dragon Con before this. It's an absolute pleasure to be here because look at how many people are here. This is awesome. Thank you guys.
So wonderful to us, and we love the people and just everything about it. So to be at a con in Atlanta, it's probably the most special.
This is my biggest panel ever. I didn't go to San Diego, but this is the best crowd I've ever seen.
Hit these two questions really fast.
Okay, during the show, a lot of times you guys have to work with guns and weaponry and things like that whenever you're dispatching walkers. I was wondering if there was any kind of training that you received prior to shooting, or do they want you to look like a atypical person who is handling one of these weapons for the first time as an amateur?
Do you think I'm allowed to answer this question?
I'll answer this question. They do prep us because there's safety on set. You know, they do say there's going to be this many loads, this many shots, and so on. So we have training with it in that they teach us how to fire, but they don't do any in-depth training per se. And it is cool because it feeds into our characters. It just happens to be that it is cool. You know what I mean? It's not something that we're working towards or whatever it is. But it's cool to see people messily shoot things, but still controlled because we don't want to blow someone's face off.
Cool. They are really careful. Like there's like actual shots. Things I don't know about guns. The things are empty, so you're not just shooting out anything blank. They'll give you earplugs. They'll like color and skin color with the earplugs when they're actually shooting, and yeah, they're really careful about that.
Last question.
Question for John. Given that Shane's, shall we say, fate has already differed from the one in the book, do you find that liberating as an actor?
Do I find it liberating that it's different than it is in the book?
Yes.
Whether you're still alive.
Well, as much as everyone else has an established character arc of a sort.
Yeah, you know, I think that, you know, look, when I opened up, when I read the pilot, I said, wow, this is the best pilot I ever read in my life. I would do anything to be an extra in this thing. I want to be a part of this so bad, and I fought like crazy to get on it. And then I found out it was based on a graphic novel. I was like, oh, cool. And I opened the graphic novel. I'm like, this is fucking, oh my lordy lord. It ain't gonna last too long, is it? So yeah, you know, liberating. You know, I think what's cool is that, you know, Frank and I, when we started, you know, we really set out to do something very specific with Shane, and I knew that he would last longer than he does in the graphic novel, and that yeah, man, that is totally liberating because. But I think, sort of, Stephen was saying before, I mean, I think to just sort of put the graphic novel on television would be one thing. It's a great graphic novel, but the mediums are so unbelievably different. I mean, one is, you know, it is captions and pictures, and so much of what's in between it you got to fill in with your imagination. And I think on television, long-form television, it's all about the details, and it's all about going on tangents. And
Shane gets tangents now.
What did he? What?
Shane now gets tangents.
Yeah, I guess so, man. But look, you know, knowing that your character could bite it at any moment is tough, especially when you're working with a bunch of people you really, really love and you're on a show that you really. I've been on crappy shows. It's awesome to be on a great one that I can tell my friends about. I'm proud of it. And we have like the best fans. It's awesome. I love it. So that's tough. But man, this is the job of a lifetime, and we all know how lucky we are to be on it, and we really do. I'm not being a sappy actor. We really work our asses off. You know what I mean? And because we love it, we believe in it. So yeah, I don't know. Did that answer your question, dude? Not really. Not really. I feel liberated, brother.
Want to invite them to the zombie prom tonight at the Sheraton, Grand Ballroom at 10